like to compile some shaders. Joy. This is compiling shaders is the new tutorial of the modern age. Now, I hope this isn't a game that throws you into the game before allowing you to set up graphics and visual fidelity, because there's a lot of games that do that, and it really gets under my diodes. It really fries my circuits. Alright. Gamma. Again, I'm streaming on a lot of different platforms. That was weird. I like dark to be dark, you know? And now the light looks too dark. I've seen people stream this. Why is it skipping in 20s? I didn't do that earlier. Okay, that's weird. But a lot of people's streams that I did glance at, or look at non-spoiler review kind of situations, it was almost like the sun, the brightness outside was too bright. There are days like that, but it's not every day, you know? We'll see. You get too dark, then it's almost like cloudy storms coming out from the distance. It's a good balance, but that's perfect. I think that looks good. I'm gonna try that. But yeah, like I was saying. Okay, good. We go to settings now. So there we go. Upscale mode, nope. I don't know about frame gen. Every time I try, I've only played frame gen on 1 or 2 games that it actually didn't look like ass. Or like when the characters and everything was phasing out of itself. FSR ray regeneration. I heard the ray regeneration really spikes this game, no matter what version. I'll probably mess with it some other time. VSync shouldn't be on. We'll see. But it should embrace FSR. So this is FSR 4, yeah. Wait, oh, maybe I have to do it here. Yeah. Sweet. So this is my first time trying FSR 4, or 4.1 for that matter. Because none of the games I've played recently have supported it until now, so. Let's drop my resolution. We're gonna go native for now. And I might try frame regeneration. Or ray regeneration. Oh, that's ray regeneration. Oh, it's frame generation that I hate. Ray regeneration is pretty new. I think it's only in FSR 4 actually. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. Okay, Ultra. I'll tweak these settings different time. Probably off cam, off stream, whatever you want to call it. But hardware box, went over everything, and high on most things. That's where you wanted it. And I think there's a couple of settings, even a shadow setting, that I think is better if it's ultra. Oh, cinematic is the, I thought cinematic and then ultra. So now I think hold on. And everything in ultra. Which I thought cinematic was supposed to be the best, but the way Hardware Unboxed talked, it was, I don't know, I didn't get that idea. I guess that is the case, so, and ray tracing on this game doesn't really affect performance. Like, in some cases, they say having it off actually makes your performance worse. So we're gonna ride with that. I mean, I'll eventually, since this is the first stream, as I add to these stream pages, I'm gonna be adding a lot of information. A lot of things that chat can interact with. I'll put up my rig and all my specs and what I use, all those things. I am using a 9070 that's water cooled. I've yet to flash it to an XT, but it's a hellhound. So flashing it's pretty reliable, and they're damn near the same card, the XT and the non-XT version. The PCB is identical, so chances are the chips could be too on some of them, but we'll see. You know, I just haven't had time to focus on that yet. So, all right. I think most of the stuff though I wonder if I gotta restart. A lot of games have managed it where you don't have to restart on most things anymore. It used to be so annoying. Typically textures and model quality, stuff like that. So anything post-processing, I'll probably bring that up. simulation will bring down other, we'll keep that up. Effect quality, we'll keep that up. Fog. But there's a lot where it's almost, what they said is you can hardly tell the difference between things. I need to watch the video again. Like I said, I'm going to change all these off stream. And, but I figure, oh, and there's a max. Holy Christ, Jesus Christ. Oh, chips and rice. Okay. I thought they said to leave most things on cinematic. Didn't realize there was a max quality here. Or did they just add that? Or is that just for lighting? I think it's just for lighting. So let's see. I can always get in here and adjust, I suppose. I know you don't want to go below Ultra on shadows, because they look like total crap. I think volumetric fog, some of these go to high and they're unnoticeable. I think volumetric fog. I think we'll go with this. This looks good. And then a lot of people don't mess with their sound. I don't know how balanced it's going to be. Most video games mixes I hate. I've worked in audio production and video production, and yeah, most of them don't. I don't like most of the pre-mix that were just maxed out. Like sometimes it's as intended, sometimes it's not. Generally, I like sound effects around 80 or 70 even. Actually 80. Music tend to do around 70. And then dialogue I keep up here so I can hear what's going on. Night mode I'm not a fan of unless it's an FPS game and you need to hear footsteps or something like that. Generally it compresses all the audio so you have no dynamics. Now my question is this a controller game or is this a keyboard mouse game? And I know there's a lot of lack of configuration, hotkeys, keybinds, whatever you want to call them. Alright, clips accessories, I think, yeah, we'll just go with all that. Any hidden stuff in accessibilities? Blur intensity, is that motion blur? That's crazy, they would put these in accessibility. Particle effects quality and blur, that is motion blur. Oh, shouldn't exist. Why people even mess with that anymore? That should never exist in a game these days. At the field, we'll see. Some of the games I like it, some games I don't. When you're really looking out in the distance, you can see far off as long as you can see well. You have your glasses on, whatever. It's not blurred in real life. That is a video production thing, and it was also created to help performance in games that couldn't handle everything in the background. And nowadays we can, so I typically leave this off. Accessibility. This is not what accessibility means. This is this is like extended graphics options or censoring options and stuff. I'm amazed they have, well, it is South Korea, it's not China, so this is on a 10-cent game, so they have blood and stuff. The UI and the HUD, at least they have this in here now, which would typically be in like HUD or video or something, not in accessibility. So I bet a lot of people don't find this because people don't even click on this half the time, because unless you have a disability where you need it. But like I said, let me look if there's any hidden settings, and of course there's a bunch. It's like all the settings. All the settings are not really accessible. There's no colorblind in here, you know. There's no hearing impaired except for subtitle font and subtitles. It's not really closed caption. It's not the same thing. Similar, but there's no descriptives in subtitles where there is in closed caption. So they don't have closed caption. And none of this is shake intensity. It can be a little, give people a little vertigo, I guess. Particle effects, intensity could be okay for seizures, like that could help with that. Of course, blur, that can, also help with vertigo. Nobody should use blur either. That was also to hide technical inferiorities, 10 years ago. As far as 8 years ago, actually. Depends on the game you play and the rig you have. Alright. I think we're good to go on that. Alright. I really appreciate that they let you come to this screen. The games that force you in to start in the game, and you don't have control set up. Like I have a single hand keyboard on my left hand controller. It's a Z-board thing. If anybody's ever seen one, it's like the Snipe Pad, or Razer makes something similar. There's a couple other companies. The Z-board thing is the best I've ever tried. So it's hard to game without it. When it's WASD. I can't use a keyboard doing that. I can't stand it. Too many keys in the way. It's too sloppy. So this is nice. And now we're gonna play. And I'll have to figure out if I need a controller. I just grab it. I am using I did get a new controller that I haven't had too long. It's the what's it called? It's the GameSir G7 Pro, I think. Alright. Oh, new game. Oh. Here we go. Everybody want to read this with me? Yeah, I read it. Y'all gotta keep up. Humans are slow. I wanted to play this when the day it released. I'm kind of glad I didn't, because they've done some fixes. It's supposed to be a little better. But I had to set up the stream properly, and I'm streaming to YouTube, Dick, Rumble, and D-Live right now. Plans to stream to 2 or 3 more platforms as I'm able. So that was not the stream. That was the game. I had some stuttering. Even though I'm pegged at 60 FPS. Alright. Alright, let's do this. Okay. Now I know there's ambushes in the game. And I'm glad that was not one of them. Oh no, this is... Okay, now I gotta see... input... And the graphics, I definitely have to work on the graphics a little bit. Still. We're 50-ish. A little bit of drop out. You know, I think what I'm gonna do is gonna run on until I do all this off screen, off stream, yeah, and just so it's the highest quality. Okay, and just in case I get a crash, oh, it's already auto saving. That's nice. Got something. Okay. If I can't rebind, jump. Okay, yeah, I don't use, because the input's on my left hand, single hand keyboard. You fade. Through melee. I'll use V. Yep, as well. Backslide, C-spine, still whipping. Dismount. Now we're gonna put that as dismount. And we'll which should be able to also use call mount. The same thing, right? No? Yeah, do that. That's stupid. You're dismounting. So And I know this is probably going to end up being the map. I'm going to have to work on this off stream as well. Kind of crazy. Lock on caps. Yeah, very well might end up using a controller. We'll see. Where Winds Meet was had some little awkward inputs as well. But it wasn't too bad. It was not too bad once you figured it out. But that was also a game that it throws you right in and doesn't give you an option to change any settings whatsoever. So you can't optimize your graphics. You can't optimize what your button presses are. And if anybody's played Where Winds Meet, when you start the game, you immediately, like within 5 minutes, you're fighting a boss. And if your keys aren't, if you're not used to the keys, because it's got a semi Souls-like kind of vibe, you're gonna get your ass beat really quick. And I almost did. I almost died in the tutorial, which is pretty sad. Alright. Let me see. Shoot bash, stab. Wow, all these combinations. Yeah. Oh man, I see what they're talking about. So you have to use your evade. Oh, so that's going to screw up your skills. Oh, man. I wonder if you can you can set a macro combo. Because I changed the evade, and that's why they have that here. And I can set a lot of these up on my mouse. I have an MMO mouse. So I have 12 keys, side keys. So I can set a lot of this up. I might just do that now. Some games don't adhere very great to the way this mouse does it. It's not the Logitech, which does it really well. It's kind of the Red Dragon knockoff. Rebrand, whatever you want to call it. They're all from China, so. I don't know what any of these skills are. I'll have to see what they do before I map them and put them in priority. I haven't mapped control 1 or control, whatever. Control 0 at least. And then some F keys, I think. This is going to be kind of, oh man. I get the holding, like it's holding alt because you're evading, evasive slash, so you're evading and you're slash while you're evading. I get that. That makes perfect sense to me, looking at it. And on a keyboard and mouse though, I guess it kind of can make sense too, but now I've changed my evade key. So, and it lets me do that. Okay. I'm good with that. Left shift. Shift is run. Shift is run, people. So am I running and stabbing? It just stab. That's, oh wait, where's sprint? Yeah. So you're running and stabbing, I guess. And I started doing a different key set for running because my pinky gets a little sore. Need to oil the joints. So let me see. Caps. What is that? Tab. Can you use tab used for anything? No, we're going to use tab instead, I think. Can't believe they didn't use tab for anything. I'd rather use alt for sprint, actually. A little easier to get to. And then caps, tab. Oh, yeah, we'll just find, okay, use gear. Well, hell. Is there weapon swaps 1 through? I don't see anything. Yeah, the interact, that is so dumb. Why do you have 4 interacts? Asmongold and some others mentioned that. It makes no sense. You're interacting or you're not. You can't interact with 4 things at one time. At least I don't think you can, and I don't know if you'd want to. I don't even know what to do. And look at the stretch. You got E, R. Like, if anything, you're going to do F, E, and Q. And then I could do, I'm going to have to change the map. You can't, you can't change map. No. That's screwy. Somebody said you can't. I think Force Gaming said you couldn't change map, inventory, and there's 2 others. They just added them. Why they didn't add rebinds, I don't know. I don't get it. So, I use space for my map because it's a thumb button on this controller, on this single hand keyboard. So we're not using 1, 2, 3, 4 to switch weapons. I'm going to use Q. Oh, that's aim. Oh, that's going to have to change. Because why aren't you using your mouse? The F to punch kick. What? Oh, man. I might have to use a controller. My controller on this thing. This is, dude, the control scheme is the final boss. The control scheme is like the character creator of this game. I haven't even got to the character creator yet. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to do. I'm stumped. I thought I was gonna imbue element. I don't know what that was. Oh, here. Flame, frost, lightning, and wind. Imbue element. So E was, okay, E is cancel. And a separate cancel button. I guess the cancel cast, cancel animation, or cancel skill. So it's kind of cool, but I don't want that there. That's all. Use space for cancel. And then, we do that as one. And then we'll do and we'll do 5. There we go. I guess that'll be okay. Wasn't really what I had in mind. Comrade quick slot. Interactions. I'm going to put 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 2 rows of buttons. I have 1 through 6, and then above that I have 7 through 0. And they're in like convex rows or concave rows, are kind of bending, kind of wrapped around the WASD on this controller. So it's just this is too much right here. This is just E, R, and then TG. They are all right next to each other there. ERTG. I see how they're laid out on the keyboard. It's just stupid. But I want those allocated to other things. I wish you could just double up F. Is F assigned to anything? It's combined with something, so what's the main thing? So it's punch kick is F. So it's now I want that to be E. So interact. So we're gonna So we're gonna do 7, 8, 9, and 0. Interact. Next, fine. These are menus. Okay, so here we do. Instead of that, we'll make punch kick. We'll make that E. Aim, since aim is Q. Why are you not aiming by holding down the left click on the mouse? Or I think somebody mentioned that on the controller, it's not even left shoulder or something, or right shoulder, whatever most people are used to. As a left trigger, typically it's left trigger, and then you fire with right trigger in a lot of bow games. So I heard it wasn't like that. But I guess Q is okay for what I'm doing right here, right now, but it should be left click on mouse. And then it takes over your aiming when you're holding it down, and then you either release if it's a bow or you fire with the right button, or vice versa if you're left-handed. So you do have this. Oh, I see why though. You have a light attack and then you have a heavy attack. So they need you to have another button to do that. So yeah, stuff like aim will be probably good to add to my mouse side keys. I'll have to get into the game and play it a little bit and see what's what. And then a lot of these, some of these will probably be side keys too. Especially like the run stab. I'll just probably macro it to the side keys on my mouse. or it's a one button thing. Yep. An MMO mouse is definitely going to be good for this game. Okay, so I have no idea what that was. That X. Oh, I can't use X. I have no X on mine. I do have 6. Skill focus. Okay, and then we have X import. I have no idea what that was. I replaced it. It was probably B. Probably B. And we have use gear. So I can use shift for that. It would use shift for use gear. And then caps. I guess. That's not what it did. That's not normal. Okay. So the problem with the Z board that I use, there is a problem with it that it's, it's Steel Series. It was before Steel Series brought them out. And so when they carried it over, they updated the software for the remapping, for building profiles, which is pretty awesome. But then at some point, they just stopped updating it. And then Windows stopped supporting the old version. So an update just kind of killed it. So you can install it, but it doesn't really work right. And so profiles no longer work. So, and for some reason, Windows input somewhere in the lifespan of Windows 10, the input structure completely changed in the way it recognizes this and which keys are what at default. So it's not even correct from what I was used to. So the Windows keys don't even match up on it anymore. It's kind of crazy. Because it started out in Windows 7, and then it did patch to Windows 10, but like I said, Windows 10 changed some key bindings, or inputs, the way it recognizes this pad, so like some of the keys are just not even right by default. And now I can't use the software, so my remaps are kind of weird. Like where P used to be is the enter key. Space is still space. B is jump, which is actually still the way it was. You can jump with that or the space key. It's weird, the layout. But look up the Z Fang, or the Z boards Fang, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the layout's really comfortable. It's way better than using a keyboard, so I find my workarounds. I think we're good. Okay, that's gonna be it. We've been in this menu way too long, but thanks to these guys, hopefully they patch it some more. And oh, that's right. It didn't default to WASD, but it's working now, so